focus on what's in your control. Do something hard every day.
You've read so much. You write so much. You have the wisdom of someone who has lived many, many lives.
That's what reading is, by the way. You know what I mean? Reading is maybe the only way that you can live multiple lives. Like, you think about the millions of people who have done crazy things, groundbreaking things, terrible things. And you think of all that wisdom. It's all there in books. And, you know, it's $10. Sometimes it's $1.
Isn't it funny how similar the wisdom is, though?
Yeah, I think the more you read, you come up with some sort of themes. It boils down Eastern and Western philosophy, kind of like a horseshoe. You know, they come together towards the ends. But
what are those themes? What are the themes of living a good life that I must know?
First would be, let's say you focus on what's in your control, like
Focusing
what's
on
up to you.
Okay, what does that mean in practicality, in day-to-day life? So someone cuts me off in traffic.
Yeah, somebody doesn't like something that you did. The weather. You know, how much of your energy are you spending emoting about, complaining about, worrying about things that are not up to you?
And is there any particular examples from Stoicism where?
Well, Epictetus is like, that's our first job in life, is to separate things into two categories. Is this up to me or is this not up to me? And it's a resource allocation issue, right? Like, if you are focusing your energy, even half of it, on stuff that's not up to you, that's half your energy that's not being focused on the stuff you can make a difference on. It's like, that'd be like putting 50% of the power of your car on the wheels that aren't touching the ground. You know, like, you want to put it where it's going to get traction. That's a key thing in life. Is this up to you or not? Number two, there's something magical about water, and there's something magical about long walks. This is where we find a lot of peace, we find a lot of inspiration, we find a lot of calmness and stillness. Like, I'm not saying that taking a walk will solve all of your problems. I'm just saying that there's very few problems that are made worse by taking a walk. Same goes for jumping in the swimming pool or the ocean.
What is it about those two things that you believe?
I mean, look, I think we evolved traveling very long distances. I mean, some of the oldest evidence of human beings in America are a set of footprints of a mother carrying and setting down a child 20,000 years ago in what is now White Sands, New Mexico. Like, that's just what we've been doing for as long as there have been people. And there's something about the rhythm of it, the movement of it, that slows us down, forces us to think, makes us very present. It's just magic. And I think there's a reason that every religious tradition or Zen garden has a water fountain or something. You know, there's just something about the sound of water.
It's so true. All of my best ideas either come usually in the gym or in the shower.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do a lot of walking because
You got it.
But in the gym and the shower, I seem to get my epiphany moments.
Yes. Taking a break from what you're doing to go do one of those things often unlocks a lot of stuff.
Okay. And you have that as a ritual every day?
Every day. Yeah.
Every single day?
Yeah. I try to take a walk every day.
What else are sort of rituals in your life? The daily rituals?
So I would add as a third one, as a ritual, I'd say, like, do something hard every day. Like, do something physically difficult every day. The art of challenging oneself and pushing those limits and boundaries. That is a essential practice and skill that will help you whatever life has in store for you.
And is that the third one on this list of 5?
Yeah, I'll make that the third.
Okay, love that one. So do something difficult every day, and that ranges from as small as not eating the cheeseburger to as big as running a marathon.
Yeah, I mean, not eating the cheeseburger, that's not, I wouldn't put that, I wouldn't go, hey, like, I really challenged myself today, I didn't eat garbage. I would say it's like, here's the positive thing that I did, right? Like, I lifted heavy rocks,
Okay.
You know, I did some sprinting. I went for a bike ride. You know, I went for a run. I took a spin class, you know, whatever it is. The walk doesn't count. The walk is for the mental health. Then you got to do something for the physical health. Okay, so 4, I think we have to put something here about like we are made for each other, right? The idea of meaning comes from servicing or contributing to the common good. Marcus Aurelius talks about the common good maybe 40, 50 times in meditations. You know, he says like we're put here for other people. Our job is to help others, to, you know, leave this place better than leave this place better than you found it. To me, that's the meaning of life right there. So what is the positive contribution? What is the legacy you're leaving? Not how much money did you make? You know, what records did you break? But what is the contribution you are making to the collective? That's meaning and purpose, and quite frankly, your obligation as a human being.
Service.
Service. And then the fifth one is
I wanted to just pause there, and I forgot to ask you for an example on the third one from Stoicism.
Of doing something hard?
Yeah.
I mean, the Greeks trained in wrestling. The gymnasia was the central part of Roman life. You know, you'd go and you'd train, you know.
And what were they aiming at when they were training? What were the means?
A strong mind and a strong body, like to not be flabby and lazy and...
not to fight each other or anything, but to...
No, but I mean, there's something about combat sports, you know, that I think is very primal and probably good for you. You know, just something about the challenge of pushing oneself, not living this sort of sedentary lifestyle. I think that's, you know, whether you're talking about Zen Buddhists practicing martial arts or you're talking about the Romans, you know, practicing wrestling. I think the philosophical tradition it's wrong to think of philosophers as soft.
I always wonder if there's something innate in human beings that we're designed to need struggle. Like we're designed to, because if you think about, we're in a big building here, and with all this stuff that humans came up with, and the cameras that our ancestors just struggled forward to create all this stuff. So is it conceivable that they left something in me that says, you too shall struggle forward?
Yeah, you are an heir to people who crossed oceans, fought in wars, braved the elements, you know, lived through poverty and depressions, sacrificed, struggled, you know. They did all that. And you have that in you, you know. You have that in you. We all do.
And here we are ordering candy on
yes, by a robot. And going, the air conditioning isn't at the exact temperature that I want it to be.
And number 5?
Number 5, across all religious and philosophical traditions, there is some version of the practice of memento mori. Remember, you are mortal, that life is short. Talk about top of the list of things that you don't control, right?
Death.
Is death. And the acceptance and the submission to that fact, the awareness, the urgency, the perspective that gives you is one of the most essential philosophical practices there is. Like, why do we procrastinate? Why do we not prioritize our health? Why do we not do the stuff that we know we should do? It's because we think we have forever. You know, we think we're invincible. And it's only, you know, in light of a pandemic, call from the doctor, you know, a loved one suddenly going, that we get these brief moments of clarity that goes, oh, wait, shit, no, you can go at any moment. Marcus Aurelius says, you could leave life right now, let that determine what you do and say and think. Now, if he's saying that in a time where he buried 6 children, that's how deadly and unforgiving the ancient world was. And he was even then having to remind himself, hey, don't procrastinate. Don't think you have forever. Don't take life for granted. And here, when the average lifespan is so much longer, like inconceivably long compared to the ancients, where, you might never see someone die in your whole life until you are in a hospital bed. We live in even more of a bubble. We are even more sheltered. We are even more detached from the reality of our mortality. As they say, death is the only prophecy that never fails. Like, people think about like, well, what would I do if I found out that I had cancer? Like, if you got a terminal diagnosis from a doctor, you go, what changes would I make? But the reality is you do have a terminal diagnosis. Like, the second you were born, that doctor knew with 100% certainty that you would die. He just didn't know when. It could be 8 years from now, it could be 8 decades from now. We don't know. But to live in ignorance or in rejection of that fact is to set yourself up, I think, more often than not, to waste your life. And so some practice of, hey, time is ticking by now in this very moment. How am I spending it?